Apple's next MacBook Pro models are already making headlines. The new 14-inch and 16-inch versions are entering mass production soon, and that has set off a wave of speculation in the tech world. But this time, things are a little different. The timeline looks unusual, and it might be one of the strangest release schedules we've seen from Apple in years. Normally, MacBook Pro updates follow a steady rhythm. Apple introduces new chips, refreshes the design every few years, and keeps the professional laptop lineup on a fairly predictable path. But according to reports from trusted sources like Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, this cycle is about to break, and that break could stretch out for more than a year. So, when are the new MacBook Pros actually coming? Reports suggest the next update won't arrive until late 2025 or even the first quarter of 2026. In fact, the most realistic date being discussed is March 2026. That means if you were expecting to upgrade your MacBook Pro in 2025, you may want to hold off because nothing major is coming. This is unusual for Apple. In recent years, the company has been very consistent with updates, sometimes even accelerating the pace of new launches. But here, we're looking at a full year or more with no new MacBook Pro models at all. This delay breaks Apple's normal cycle. For years, the MacBook Pro has seen steady upgrades, whether it was new chips, new displays, or design improvements. But in 2025, there will be no M5 MacBook Pro and no M5 MacBook Air either. The only other time Apple skipped an update like this was back in 2022. At that time, the M2 Pro and M2 Max MacBook Pros were delayed, and they finally launched in early 2023 instead. That was considered unusual back then, but it's happening again now. Still, it's rare for Apple to leave an entire year without a pro-level MacBook refresh. And that makes this situation stand out even more. So why is this happening? The truth is, no one has a clear answer. Apple hasn't offered any official explanation. Insiders describe the timeline as fluid, which is another way of saying the schedule could change. There are always possible reasons behind the scenes: chip manufacturing challenges, supply chain adjustments, or Apple saving major features for a bigger reveal. But whatever the reason, the end result is the same: no M5 MacBook Pro in 2025. This delay also raises another big question. What about the redesign that so many users have been waiting for? The rumors about a MacBook Pro with old displays and a thinner, sleeker body have been circulating for years. People expected that upgrade to arrive with the M5 generation. But if the M5 is delayed, does that mean the redesign is delayed as well? Right now, two possibilities stand out. The first is that Apple will release the MacBook Pro updates in 2026. One early in the year with the M5 chip, and another redesigned version later, possibly with the M6 chip. The second possibility is that Apple pushes the redesign all the way into 2027. Launching the MacBook Pro updates in a single year might sound strange, but history shows Apple has done this before. In 2023, the M2 Pro and Max models arrived in January, only to be replaced by the M3 versions 10 months later, and even earlier. Apple introduced a 16-inch Intel MacBook Pro just months after refreshing the 15-inch model. So, while unusual, it wouldn't be the first time Apple stacked updates close together when preparing for a major design shift. So, what does this mean for buyers? The honest answer is simple: skip the M5 MacBook Pro. Here's why. The M5 will most likely be a small spec refresh. It will bring slightly faster performance and better efficiency, but nothing groundbreaking. For most people, today's M3 and M4 MacBooks are already more than powerful enough. Apple Silicon has been strong for years, and the performance gap between generations is no longer as dramatic as it once was. When the M5 does arrive, the earlier models will almost certainly drop in price. That means buyers will get excellent machines at lower cost, making them an even better deal. That leaves the smart strategies. Either pick up a discounted M3 or M4 when the M5 launches, or wait for the old redesign. The redesign will be the true game changer, not just another spec bump. The move to old displays will completely transform the MacBook Pro experience. Old brings deeper blacks, richer colors, and much better HDR performance. It also offers improved power efficiency, which means longer battery life, a critical factor for portable machines. Apple is rumored to be using a double-stacked OLED panel. That means not only higher brightness, but also better durability. And this matters a lot. MacBooks aren't devices people replace every 2 or 3 years like iPhones. Many users keep them for 5, 6, or even 10 years. A tougher, longer-lasting display makes a real difference in the long run. But the upgrades won't stop at the screen. A brand new chassis is also in the works. Apple is expected to make the MacBook Pro thinner, inspired by the new iPad Pro, which is extremely slim, and the rumored design of the iPhone 17, which is also expected to focus on thinness. Now, whenever Apple makes a laptop thinner, concerns arise. People still remember the 2016 MacBook Pro era, when thinness came at the cost of ports, reliability, and even keyboard functionality with the infamous butterfly switches. But this time, Apple seems to be taking a more balanced approach. Apple Silicon continues to get smaller and more efficient, which reduces the need for bulky cooling systems. OLED panels are thinner than mini LED displays. Together, these changes free up space inside the machine. That means Apple can reduce thickness without cutting essential features. One of the most exciting parts of the redesign could be battery technology. Rumors suggest Apple is exploring silicon carbon battery cells. These allow more energy to be stored in smaller sizes. In practice, that could mean a thinner and lighter MacBook Pro that still lasts just as long or even longer on a single charge. It's the same type of technology that allows ultra-thin smartphones to pack massive 6,000 mAh batteries. If Apple manages to bring this into the MacBook lineup, it could be a major breakthrough, of course. Whenever redesigns are mentioned, speculation runs wild. One rumor is that the Touch Bar might make a comeback, but realistically, that's unlikely. Most users prefer the physical function row. It's more reliable, easier to use, and doesn't distract you from typing. Unless Apple ventures into dual-screen laptops or foldable designs in the future, the Touch Bar probably won't return. A far more interesting story is the leaked test of a MacBook Pro running the M3 Ultra chip. According to reports, Apple experimented with a 14-inch and 16-inch MacBook Pro powered by this beast. The specs were staggering: a 32-core CPU, an 80-core GPU, and support for up to 512 gigabytes of unified memory. That's workstation-class performance in a laptop body. So why didn't Apple release it? The problem comes down to thermals and battery life. Packing that much power into a portable machine would have meant excessive heat, loud fans, and poor battery endurance. Apple learned painful lessons during the Intel era, when MacBook Pros often turned into hot, noisy machines. The company has no interest in repeating that mistake still. The fact that Apple tested the M3 Ultra in a MacBook Pro is revealing. It shows the engineering team is exploring ways to bring ultra-level performance into laptops, and with a redesigned chassis offering better thermal solutions, a future MacBook Pro Ultra is not out of the question. Looking ahead, 2026 is shaping up to be a major year for the MacBook Pro. Early in the year, we'll probably see the M5 generation. That release will be a spec refresh, giving a modest performance boost, but nothing more. Later in the year, Apple is expected to introduce the real update, the redesigned MacBook Pro with OLED displays, a thinner body, and possibly even support for an ultra-level chip. If all of that happens, 2026 could mark one of the most exciting years for the MacBook Pro in recent memory. So, to sum it all up, Apple is breaking its usual cycle. There will be no M5 MacBook Pro or MacBook Air in 2025. Instead, the wait stretches into 2026, starting with a simple spec refresh and potentially ending with a groundbreaking redesign. The real upgrade to watch for is the old model. That's when Apple will combine a stunning display, a thinner body, new battery technology, and possibly ultra-level performance. It's the redesign that could define the future of the MacBook Pro. Yes, the delay feels frustrating, but history shows that when Apple skips a cycle, it's usually because something bigger is around the corner. And this time, that bigger thing could reshape the MacBook Pro for the next decade. Now the choice is yours. Will you wait for the old model, or grab an M3 or M4 at a discount when the M5 arrives? And if Apple really does launch a MacBook Pro Ultra, would you be willing to invest in it? One thing is certain: the next generation of MacBook Pros is going to be worth watching closely.